Hey, queens. So it's 8 o'clock on the dot, but I'm going to give you guys a second, a second to come on, as well as my special guest. I'm gonna give her a second to come on. When I see her light is on, I can start. So Ariel, if you're on here, just I don't even know what it would say as far as you getting on, but let me make sure I got everything good on my end. Okay. All right. So, okay, Ariel, it says you're here. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna bring you on in just a second, okay, girl? But hey, queens. As you all see, tonight's topic is a little heavy, and it may be a little bit heavier for some than others. But at the end of the day, I believe that there will be somebody blessed by the story of my friend and my special guest, Ariel B. But first, before I get her on, I wanted to make you all aware of some statistics of battered women, because it's so much more, honestly, it's so much more of an epidemic than we realize. So here we go. Again, the topic, as you all can see, overcoming physical abuse, from battered to better. Statistics. According to the FBI, a woman is battered every 15 seconds. 2 to 4 million American women are abused each year. Nearly half of men who abuse their female partners also abuse their children. Up to 50% of homeless women and children in this country are fleeing domestic violence. Studies show that women face the greatest risk of assault when they leave or threaten to leave their partners or report the abuse to authorities. Yeah, that's pretty heavy. And though I've never been in an abusive relationship, I've never been battered in any way. That's why I have Ariel here to tell her story. So, without further ado, we're going to welcome Miss Ariel B. I'm going to bring her on now, you guys. Okay, I'm about to bring you on. Adding is adding is adding. And if you guys are on here, you guys can go ahead and share the video for us. Hey, Ariel. How are you?
I'm good.
Awesome. Okay, so look, don't be nervous. We're just having a regular conversation, girl, blessing the people, doing what we do, letting people know that, hey, you may go through it, but you can come out because you did. So,
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about yourself before we start with the questions.
Okay, so I'm Ariel, and I live here in Oklahoma. I am a former veteran, and I'm a mother of 3 wonderful children and a wife to one amazing husband. Puts up a little lot. So, really, I'm just a simple, your everyday woman who's been through a life journey but has learned lessons through it. And I'm an author as well. I wrote my first story in The Brilliant Awakening, and I talked about my sexual abuse story. But tonight we're going to talk about my domestic violence story. And I am so super excited to share that with you guys.
And we're excited to have you on here, girl. So I'm going to go ahead, because I don't like to hold up people. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the questions.
Okay.
So folks might have.
I'm ready.
Okay, so the first question, at what point did the physical abuse start? When did it begin for you?
Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of backstory, because it wouldn't make sense just to, I guess, start at that point.
Right.
So growing up, I didn't have my dad in my life. My dad was in and out of my life and very, very little around.
Right.
So as a young girl, we know that causes problems, correct?
Problems.
So with my mom was there, but she wasn't present. And then she didn't lead a life of a woman who was reverenced or respected. And so I saw that a lot. So therefore, it led me into this relationship with my very first love, the one that everybody accepted. You know, he's the good guy, because the abusers always are.
Yeah.
So they play that card, and they're really good at it. And so he was kind, he was sweet, he was charming, he got, everybody's attention. And at the end of the day, we got to a place where I think his family was going through some things, and I think it backfired in his life.
Right.
And we were young. I was like 16, 17 when I got in this relationship. And because he was the first person everybody accepted, I really fell hard. And so I remember us getting into into a fight and an argument, because he was cheating, you know, and me, I was young and desperate for love and acceptance. And so I just wanted him to be all about me. And so we got to a place where I started asking him questions, you know, and he didn't like that. So we were in his college dorm room, and
Mhm.
I asked him one too many questions, and he reached out and slapped me in my face,
Wow.
like full hand slapped me in my face. And
Wow.
when I tell you, Marilyn, it was the hardest thing for me because through all the cheating, I stayed.
Yeah.
Through all of it, I had this poor mindset that said, if I just stay, he'll realize later that I love him, and everybody else goes. I will be here through all his bad and his good. And so
Right.
I wanted somebody to see that no matter how bad you were to me, that I still was worthy to be loved. And so whenever he slapped me in my face, my first
Mhm.
instinct, of course, is to grab your face because you're like, what just happened to me? Um, and I didn't know really what to think. I know my mind went blank for a moment, but immediately I'm thinking, why? Like, why would you do that? And in his
Right.
eyes, I saw every bit of fear, um, because it was the first time he's ever put his hands on a woman. I was the very first one. And I don't know if I'm
Wow.
the last. I pray to God I'm the last, but I was the very first one. And he looked at me dead in my face, and you know how men look at you in your face and be like, no, I didn't cheat, and they'd be like, so serious? No, he looked me in my face and said, I hit you because I love you. Do you know my desperate heart held on to that like there was no tomorrow?
Wow.
I was like, that's what it's like to be loved. My mom was abused, you know
Right.
what I mean, and she stayed. He loved her, he did everything for her, but he still abused her. And so
Wow.
I didn't have that example. My daddy wasn't around to show me any different. And to be honest, when my daddy was around, I saw a lot of physical and verbal arguments. And so
Right.
at the end of the day, isn't this love? And so I told him, you know what? It's okay. I forgive you. And we went on. And so with that was the very, very first time it happened to me. And I honestly fell deeper in love right after that.
Wow.
I felt like,
Right.
wow, he cared enough. He cared enough to stop me in my tracks and to knock reality into me because I was that damaged.
Right.
So yeah, girl.
Wow. And it happens, girl. I
Yeah.
look. I like I said, I've never been physically abused, but I mean, I've been there where you stay, you go back, you're not being treated right, but you go, you love them, don't want them to go nowhere. So I get it, I understand completely.
Yeah.
Um, well, first of all, look, I'm gonna say this: the devil is crazy because he's trying us with this connection, okay? Because I heard a lot of what you said, but it was going in and out. But I'm getting everything you
Really?
said. But yeah, girl, listen, we're gonna go on anyway, okay? Um, let me see. So the second question. So can you, and you may have answered this, but thanks to the connection, maybe I didn't hear it. But
Okay.
can you remember, well, as you already said it, the exact moment, I was going to say the exact moment he got physical with you, but you brought that up already. So you actually answered a lot of the questions. A lot of the
I'm
questions.
sorry.
You're good. You're good. So was it like, so in that moment, like what were you thinking? Like, was it like, did he really just hit? You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I lost a lot of what you said because of the connection. So you may have said this.
Well, a lot of it was, yeah, whenever he did hit me, it was really that reality check, like, wow, like somebody really,
He
like,
really just hit me.
he really just hit me. And honestly, I had been living with him for a while, his family, because my mom kicked me out at 16.
Right.
So I was living with his family for a little while, and this was one of the visits that I took to go see him at his college dorm.
Right.
So I had been living with him, and then he went to college, and then I would go see him all the time. And so whenever I went to go see him, and honestly, the crazy thing was, it was the weekend right before Valentine's Day, and whenever he did it, and it was over because this girl like had his like Letterman jacket on and this big old teddy bear. And
right.
I was like, really? Like, I come like an hour and a half to come see you, and this is what's going on. He's like, that's nothing. It's just a friend. And I was like, that's not what friends do. You know what I mean? Like,
y'all want a friend.
So, like, I got, you know, I had these issues and these concerns.
Right.
And so he did that weekend, and then that following weekend, because I allowed it the first time, that following week, Valentine's Day, he came to a friend's house of mine and went through my phone. And I have my very best friend is a guy, and he's been my best friend for like since I was in second grade.
Right.
And we had talked about the issue of me getting hit and things like that. And probably was talking to other people about it, like that I was close to at the time. I don't remember exactly who it was, but I know he looked through my phone, and I had been drinking.
Right.
Okay? I ain't always been great.
I get it. I get it.
I had been drinking, and I remember he was like at the other end of the table, and I was at this friend's house, and we were playing cards, and he got my phone, and my friend was like, I don't know if that's a good idea. You should be looking through her phone because she, you know, she's been drinking and she's not really giving you permission.
Right.
He was like, man, whatever, and was looking through it. Anyways, well, she went to bed, and he didn't like what he saw on my phone, so that night, I was staying the night with her because I'd been drinking. I'm not leaving. So I stayed the night. I laid on the floor. We were laying together. He was like, I'm staying with you tonight. And I said, oh, okay. It's nothing new. So he comes and he like chokes me while I'm trying, like I'm already intoxicated. I can't hold my own. And he chokes me and my blood vessel pops in one eye. And so it was really, really bad. And this is Valentine's Day. And so the next morning, I'm not ever into it to make somebody else get there. That's like karma will get you in your own time.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and maybe like looking back, like the me now back then probably would have like chopped him in the neck, maybe. like now that I understand.
We're glad you didn't.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't. But you know what I mean? Like,
it ended up on Snap.
The next morning, my friend said, she said, why is your eye like that? And he immediately answered for me and said, oh, that must have happened when she fell in the bathroom, because I had tripped in the bathroom before, but she was in there. I didn't hit my face.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, it probably happened then.
Wow.
I didn't say nothing else. And so with that being said, the cycle continued. It never ended. It felt like it never ended.
Right.
It really didn't until the day that he told and determined it was over. I never left him still.
Really? So, and you know what, Ariel, it's so funny you said that, because at the end of the day, girl, again, I've been there. It's women who may be watching this who've been there too. There's always, when God wants to get our attention, like there have been relationships where I knew, okay, you probably should just end this right now because you know this ain't working. You know it's toxic. You tripping right now. But yeah, I wasn't going to leave. So it wasn't until they left that it was like, so you know what I'm saying?
I've been through.
I get it.
You just gonna walk away.
I get it.
The deposit mess.
Look, like, but sometimes that's what it takes. Yeah. Look, God probably like, okay, she's not gonna do this on her own, so he's gonna have to be the one to go because she clearly ain't getting it. She clearly, you know what I'm saying? So look, girl, like I always say, everything happens for a reason. So
you're absolutely right.
Look, so true. So as far as let me see what is the next question. So did you ever think that you were going to get out? Was it ever a moment like, oh my God, like I'm never gonna get out of this? Like what?
You know, I was thinking, and you know, that's kind of a question that ran across my mind as I was thinking, and I was, you know, I don't know that there was a point where I just thought, you know, oh my God, it's never going to end. Because honestly, I was, like I told you, I was desperate for love. Yeah. I wanted somebody to love me. Yeah. I didn't want it to end. Yeah. I was like, I wanted the abuse to end, of course. And I wanted the cheating to end, of course. Right. But I want him to end. He was my first love.
Right.
That abuse and me never dealing with me as a person lasted all the way up until about 2013. And I was married to my current husband. Right. And my current husband and I have talked through it. Because it was really difficult. It really was. When you're rejected from the very woman who birthed you, the person you are very close to,
right?
The closest you've ever been to anybody else. You've been inside their womb. You've heard and felt every emotion that person has ever felt, and then you grow up behind that person. When that person says you're not good enough,
wow.
When that person says it's over and I can't steward over you anymore, you're not worth it, then you go into a downward spiral. And I kind of shared this earlier on my page in my own video.
Right.
Earlier, that you go in this downward spiral of things that you'll accept and that you'll do that is outside of the true character of who you are if you were whole and healed.
Yep.
So with that being said, it was really hard. Like, girl, I was there for life.
Yeah.
I was going to start life with him.
Right. Ride or die. Right.
You would think that you would think at some point it's over, but it didn't take until God, like you said, allowed it to be severed.
Yeah.
And years later that I decided it's time to work on this hole in your life that is attracting abuse, because right after him was an abusive husband, my ex-husband. So it just kept attracting until I decided I'm done. I'm worth more.
And you are. I get it. Wow. Well, I'm glad you stopped the cycle, because it would have never ended. You know, so what encouragement would you give to a woman who may be watching this, who may currently be going through physical abuse and she doesn't know how to get out? She doesn't know what to do.
Honestly, no woman's going to get out of it until she's ready. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing that we can do or say until she's ready. Right. And I say this because I'm not the only one, and I've been on the side and erred on the side of frustration with someone else that I've seen go through it, and telling them till I'm blue in the face that it's not worth it. And it took years later, a baby later, and they finally got it.
Finally clicked, right?
Yeah. But what I'll say is I encourage the woman to step back and see the red flags, realizing, is this really what life is about? Do I want to be in fear? Do I want to feel shameful for the rest of my life? This isn't true love. And I just want to say to the woman who is going through it, it's not true love. I don't care what he tells you. I don't care how many times he apologizes. Right. But until you break the cycle, it won't end. It gets worse. Yeah. And say he does stop putting his hands on you. Even if he's never dealt with it, it's going to be a verbal thing as well. And we don't watch that, because there was a lot of verbal that started before it ever got physical. Right. And I didn't watch the red flags. I allowed myself to fall into this deep love and this yearning for something outside of me that will never heal me and never make me whole. Right. And will never fulfill that rejection that was inside of me, because I didn't know how not to reject myself. So with that being said, I would really encourage the woman that's going through it to step back and really, really think about it. There is ways to get help. There's hotlines out there. I didn't personally go that way. I should have went that way. Right. There are people, there are friends that can help, but you don't just tell anybody. You can't tell everybody. People, no, you can't, because there are some friends who are ready to fight for you and will get you in more hurt and more damage than it's worth. Yeah. Because they're moving in silence is very important when you're moving away from your predator. It is so important to move in silence. And I encourage that woman that is ready to get out and is hearing this, maybe it's time to move in silence and realize that there is more to life than this very moment. Right. This very, very moment of wanting acceptance and love, because there's more to it and there's more fulfillment, but you have to give yourself the time to heal, and you have to trust that you can heal with God's help on your very own, that nobody else is going to make that healing for you. Exactly. And it's not until they realize that they can move forward.
I love it. I love it. So again, like y'all know, our purpose of this is to encourage people and let them know, like, yeah, we go through, but at the end of the day, we come out too. You know, she overcame that physically abusive relationship. Like she said, she has 3 beautiful children, happily married, you know, and she's an author. So tell us a little bit more about your book. June of this year, right? It's
June 2018. My story is called Undressed. And I'm undressing every layer that I've ever dealt with in life. That shame, that addiction, the rejection, the hurt, the pain, the denial of myself and others around me that wanted to love me. I get to share with you that downward spiral that started at the very seed of rejection. And then you get to see me overcome and see and glean from my lessons. My lessons may not be for everybody, but I pray that the story gets in the hands of those that it is for. I'm not going to claim to be anybody's professional. Only thing I'm a professional at is this life that
Right.
I'm living.
Your journey. Your journey.
And my journey. But I know that my story is meant for many. And there's been a lot of women who've already heard some of my story. And this ain't but just a small glimpse of my story.
A little snippet.
But I really hope that y'all stay tuned for that. And y'all can check me out for that one.
Yes, indeed. So do you have any pages, a way they can connect with you? Instagram, Facebook,
yes.
Twitter?
They can connect with me on Facebook at Ariel Brown. Currently, because my website is under construction until the end of this month. And once it is released this month, you'll be able to go on my Facebook and find the links and stay connected to each week and the layer that is revealed in part, because I ain't revealing it all, because that's what the story's for. But you can stay connected to that and follow my journey. My journey is, it's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. And I feel like it is really one that I am so passionate about sharing, because I know that it really is important to glean from one another, and important for vulnerability, because I feel like in vulnerability is where healing takes place.
That's true.
And so I'm willing to be vulnerable so that you can find a piece of healing and that you can find a piece of hope.
That's good, Ariel. That's good. Well, there y'all have it. Again, she went through it, but she came out. We're done, you guys. We're done.
Yes.
Look, listen, I never like to keep y'all on here long, but you guys share the video. Again, I pray it blessed somebody. I'm sure it did. And like she said, if you're in move in silence, know that you can come out. You can come out. Like, you can come out. So we're going to go. Any last words, Ariel? Say something to the people.
No, thank you guys for watching. I really hope that you guys can share it with your friends and family. And Marilyn is amazing. I just want to say that she is such an encourager. He is, but he made such a masterpiece when he made you.
Thank you.
I'm telling you guys right now, stay tuned to Marilyn. She's got things in store, and I can see it. So I'm excited. Thank you for having me, Marilyn.
No problem.
I'm humbled. Thank you.
Thank you for being on and agreeing to do it. Oh, I love you, girl. I love you lots. And I love you guys, all of you guys who are on here. Share the video. Bless somebody. Don't hoard the hope. Spread the hope. We're hope dealers. Right. We hope dealers. So spread it.
Right?
Spread it.
I like that.
That's what
I like that.
This is what
hope dealers.
Listen.
You better hashtag that one.
You know, girl. They got it on the shirt, girl. They have it on the shirt.
Really?
They do.
Oh, I'm gonna need that one.
Look, Google it, girl. You can find everything. Yes, but we're gonna go. We're gonna let y'all go. I'm about to finish this first season of 7 Seconds. I love you guys.
About to hit the gym.
Listen.
I'm gonna tell y'all. Catch me in the gym.
Yes. Love y'all. Y'all be blessed.
Bye. Love you guys.